Hello! Wow, it's so good to be back journaling and chatting with you guys. I'm going to be putting together my page in the original adventure book and then kind of recreate that page in our bigger adventure book, the Ultimate Traveler's Edition. So that way you'll be able to get an exact side-by-side comparison. And today we're going to Australia. And this one is really special to me, so like always, grab a cup of tea, sit back and relax, and let's get into this travel journal. So Robin and I traveled to Australia in November 2018, and what was so special about it is that we launched the adventure book 3 weeks ago, and most of our time in Australia we would spend road tripping in a van. And we started off in Melbourne, flew to the Gold Coast, and drove a big chunk of the East Coast. And as we only visited the east of the country, I decided to only put that piece of the map in to leave more room for other pictures. And by the way, this type of page is great if you're not fond of drawing. I've basically printed almost everything I needed for this page, and I think it looks really great. I only drew a couple of details which were really easy to do, or you can just leave them out. Oh my gosh, look at our little home on wheels. We loved that van so much. It had a fixed bed, which was amazing. We worked from a little slide-out desk early in the morning, and we were able to discover just so many beautiful, secluded, magical spots on the go, and just hike and swim in waterfalls and explore little towns. Oh my god, I was so proud of myself. I think this was the first time I actually drove in the van. I mean, just look at that sunset. Nothing was around for miles and miles, and we just sat there looking at the sky and the mountains, watching the colors change from yellow to pink, from pink to purple. It was just insanity. I couldn't wipe the smile off my face because it just felt so surreal and so special to be out there with Robin in this country for 6 weeks, which was the longest time either of us had ever spent traveling like in one go, and then together working remotely on this brand new little business. It was kind of an eye-opener for us, that working didn't have to mean sitting behind a desk or we're having to work 40 hours a week, and that we realized that we really wanted to work towards a life with more balance and freedom. We started our trip in Melbourne, and my friend Catherine was so kind to let us stay with her, and she was the absolute best tour guide we could have ever asked for. She took us to all the cool spots, introduced us to her friends, and we saw wild kangaroos with her for the first time. And oh my gosh, look at that. I miss traveling. So we played a lot of our trip by ear, just seeing where we ended up, and we had a couple of key places that we really wanted to visit, like Fraser Island, Brisbane, Whitehaven Beach, the Great Barrier Reef, and Byron Bay. This little town I really fell in love with the second time I was in Australia by myself for work. It was just so cozy and relaxed, and it didn't feel like mass tourism controls it, but it does have a gorgeous beach, lots of nice restaurants and beautiful shops. My favorite clothing brand, Spell and the Gypsy, is from Byron Bay, and it was just so much fun to actually try on the clothes in store instead of having them shipped to Europe, which is maybe a little bit of a random detail, but I really enjoyed just shopping around that little town. Oh, I love that picture. That's the team I worked with as a graphic designer, and I used to help out at events all around the world with them, which was amazing. And this time they asked me to help out in the Gold Coast, which of course I said yes to. Okay, what you're looking at right now is the beach highway of Fraser Island, and yes, there are traffic controllers there making sure that everyone keeps to the speed limit. I'm just in awe of this island. Like, the soil is pure sand, and somehow nature was able to grow a beautiful forest on sand. The lakes are the clearest fresh water, which were so nice on that hot day. We had way too much fun before we had to leave already, as we booked a tour. And if you're ever there, I totally say, like, take your time, but maybe not drive yourself. We saw so many drivers get stuck in the sand as there are no paved roads, so you can get stuck really, really deep. And did you see that little plane? Like, oh my gosh, those views. I'm always struggling between experiencing the moment, like being in the moment, but then also wanting to capture it, to look back on it later. Anyone else who struggles with this? Oh, right, okay, this one is for the people who do not like to draw. At first I wanted to make a little illustration of our van to put in the page, but then I came across this cute little illustration and I was like, I like this just as much, and I think a lot of you wouldn't mind this option either. Alright, so on my computer I typed out the places we loved most. I printed them out and then I put them on the right spot on the map to remember them. And again, this is a great option if you don't like your own handwriting, or if you want it to be quite small, or it's just maybe a look you're going for with a different font than what you can achieve with your handwriting. And if I go back to Australia in the future, I could add more locations. Little tag to remember our van by. And yeah, you see me use this in my previous video, a guide to travel journaling already, and I just love to add these, just highlighting a couple words that spark a memory for you about the trip, or maybe adding a travel quote is such a fun detail, I think. I can't believe how much we did during our time down under. This sailboat, you guys, these were just the best 2 days. We slept under the stars. They had beds for us inside the boat, but we were allowed to sleep on deck, and the air was just so nice out, and there were so many stars and no light pollution whatsoever. And there was only a small light at the back of the boat, and all the underwater creatures came to life after sundown, crowding the light. We went snorkeling the next day and visited Whitehaven Beach, where they shot part of Pirates of the Caribbean, and I got the biggest sunburn of my life. As a ginger, I already put on like SPF 50 10 times a day, but on a boat, there was no escaping it. I added the little stars as a memory for our night on the boat, added a couple of washi tapes, and here we go. And instead of drawing the Australian flag myself, I measured how big the square is and printed it on the exact size. And no, this is not lazy, this is smart, right? So that completes my entry in the original adventure book, and now I'm going to show you how it translates to the Ultimate Edition, because you may own one or the other, and personally, I would like to see examples for the exact journal that I own. So at first, I was going to show you everything I did on the other page again here, but I thought that's going to be really, really, really boring for you guys to watch. So bada bing, bada boom, now we have recreated the page with room to spare, because it is bigger, so we might as well use it for more memories. I love working in these books. Like, every time again, the thought of flipping through it and seeing all these filled pages makes me so happy and excited to explore more. But I also stress out a lot about what to put on there, so it takes me a long time. And these pages, I laid them out already before I started filming. I loved so many of our photos, so it was really hard to make a selection, but I really love how it turned out. Yeah. I know we're not really using a lot of illustrations on this page or these pages, but something I would really love to learn is how to do urban sketching, because I think it would really help me to slow down and look at things and create these mental images of a place, because you look at all the little details, and I just love the idea of having that as an activity to soak up a place and just be still. Sometimes when we're in a really quiet area, Robin gets his drone out and he plays around with that, and that can take a while too. So I think I would love to draw the place and capture the place in drawings while he does that, so we can both be creative in our own way and not feel like we have to rush the other because one of us is getting bored and we want to move on. So yeah, I think I would really love that. We spent Christmas and New Year's here, and especially New Year's Eve was so much fun because I knew some amazing people there through work, and they invited us to a barbecue and we watched the fireworks from the beach. I mean, a barbecue and being on a beach at New Year's Eve is hilarious to me, as I've always spent a New Year's Eve wearing a thick coat, gloves, and freezing my butt off. That was really a unique experience. But yeah, look at those fireworks. Adding the last few details, and then for this photo where I'm sitting in the van with my laptop, I did want to add this little note. Launching the adventure book from our van and selling out before Christmas. I mean, that one sentence just captures what was so surreal and about that time, and made our memories of Australia even more special. It really felt like our lives were changing in those couple of weeks. Oops, almost messed up the Australian flag. But here's the final result, and I really like how it turned out. I hope you enjoyed this little trip through the east coast of Australia with us. If you do enjoy these videos, please consider subscribing and giving this video a thumbs up. We're really happy to have you here. Bye!